Welcome to Crocodile MTG, your home of competitive, constructed play in all Magic the Gathering formats. Today's video was brought to you by all our wonderful sponsors, affiliates, and patrons. Thank you all for supporting the Crocodile MTG channel, and we hope you enjoy today's video. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jordan with Crocodile MTG, here bringing you another Magic the Gathering video. Today we're playing Dredge-less Dredge in Pioneer, which is a super cool deck. I think this hand is almost keepable, but we have quite a bit of Dredge cards in our hands, things we want to get out of our graveyard. So I'm kind of tempted to take a mulligan here. I do think I'm going to go ahead and take that mulligan. Yeah, because we don't want any of our creeping chills in our opening hand if that's possible. Wow, this hand looks a lot better, so I'm going to keep this hand. I think I'm actually going to just put Gather the Pack on the bottom, and then I'm going to lead with the Woodland Cemetery because we don't have a swamp or a forest to make that Woodland Cemetery come in untapped. Second here, turning up my volume. Alright. So our opponent leads on Forest. So now we're going to go ahead and play Blooming Marsh. And I think I'm going to... Do I just pass the turn here is the question. Or do I play Satyr Wayfinder? I guess I'm going to play Satyr here since we can keep up Grizzly Salvage next turn. So we're going to go ahead. It's a little less effective than Grizzly Salvage, but we do get... Let's go ahead and grab this Blooming Marsh. So now we have a Haunted Dead and a Scrap Heap Scrounger in our graveyard. So we are going to have the option to recur that next turn if we want. Either one of those cards. So our opponent led on Forest, so I'm genuinely curious what they're playing. Shrine of the Forsaken. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put that card into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library, you gain 3 life. Alright, Alex Dark Hero, what are you playing? Nissa Vital Force. Interesting. So that's a card out of Kaladesh. Nissa Vital Force ticks up and makes a 5/5. Ooh, and we hit our Prized Amalgam. That one's a little rough. So what we could do actually is... Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn here. I'm going to go ahead and get in for one with the Satyr Wayfinder. But then I'm going to play Haunted Dead at the end of the turn. I think I do want to discard... I'm probably just going to discard a Grizzly Salvage and a Prized Amalgam. And then I believe that Prized Amalgam comes back because you discard as a part of the cost. Alright, they get to search their library for two cards. So this might be a matchup we want to play Ashiok. So maybe I should have just played Ashiok that turn. So they do get their lands. They are going to hit all their land drops here. But again, I'm not too worried about what they're doing here. So I want to put as much pressure on our opponent as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and... I want to do this now. And the reason for that is I want Prized Amalgam to come back this turn. That way, yeah. So Prized Amalgam is going to come back. I want it to come back before the end step, because if I don't, then it doesn't come back on our opponent's turn. And we'd have to wait a whole turn cycle. So that's an important thing to note. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play Ashiok here, just because our opponent revealed all those search effects. I think it's something worth keeping. So I'm going to mill myself, though. Alright, there's a Narcomoeba and another Prized Amalgam. So now our opponent's going to bring a Prized Amalgam back. I'm not our opponent, I'm sorry. We're going to bring a Prized Amalgam back on end step. So we have also this Narcomoeba here, so I'm going to not worry about our opponent's Nissa coming down next turn. And we have a lot of pressure already. It's only turn 4. So this deck might be a powerhouse of the format. This definitely seems like a very good deck. Alright, and we'll see what our opponent's going to do here. So they definitely played the Forest last turn. And they have another forest here in their hand. I'm assuming they jammed... Oh, wow. Wow. Perilous Vault was not something I was expecting. Okay. So I'm going to start with Ashiok here. I don't have a way we can kill... I don't have a way we can kill our own creatures. So there's a prized amalgam. And maybe I just play the Driven. But then I can't bring something back into turn and force our opponent to Perilous Vault. I mean, this is lethal next turn, so I can force our opponent to do it. But that just means I'm taking out more turns. Maybe I should have played the Driven Despair here. Wow, Perilous Vault coming down from our opponent. That is insane. That is a super powerful card. Our opponent's at 4, though, and they have to react. If they do it now, though, I think they just lose. Yeah, they have to wait for our turn, which again was something that was bad on our part. So now if we hit any... Alright, I'm going to move to attacks. Now they're going to Perilous Vault, which is fine. Oh, Ashiok goes away. Shoot, that was my bad. I was going to say, if we hit Creeping Chill... Alright, I'm just going to pass the turn then. Again, this deck's super resilient to things like that. Even though they did exile 6 of our permanents, which was super powerful, we're going to be able to just bring back Haunted Dead here by discarding 2 cards, and then we're going to be able to get this prized amalgam back, which is lethal damage if they don't have anything. And we do also have Creeping Chill still in our deck, so that's something worth considering. And we'll see what they play here. They do have access to 7 mana this turn. Oh, wow. And Awaken the Ugazi. That is super interesting. Alright, I don't think that's going to do it, though. Alright, again, on our opponent's main phase, we want to do this. That way... that way we can get our prized amalgam back and then attack in. Alright, there's a scrap heap. I'm going to go ahead and attack with everything. No matter what they block, they have to block the prized amalgam, but no matter what they block, if we just find a Creeping Chill off this Grim Salvage, then we might be good. That should win us the match. So I'm going to go ahead and Grizzly Salvage here now, and then leave up the ability to... Oh, wow, okay. So we didn't hit it, but we did find another Gurmag Angler. Maybe I just take the Satyr Wayfinder here and then Satyr Wayfinder. Yeah, again, I'm just looking for a Creeping Chill. We haven't hit one yet. And any Creeping Chill will do it here. And again, no Creeping Chill. We did hit an Archamoeba, though. Which is going to trigger Prized Amalgam to come back. And we are going to go ahead and get to play this Gurmag Angler. So we're going to discard, let's see, Lanamore Waste. Let's hit all our lands first. Alright, let's see if our opponent can deal with any of this. If they had another just exile your board, that would suck. But we do have these Scrap Heap Scroungers in our graveyard still. So we'd at least get to get in for some damage. So this gives haste and indestructible. And it's a legendary creature, so they can't make more than one. And it is indestructible, so that we can't remove it anyway, in our deck at least. I'm not even sure what I'd bring in here. Probably the Thoughtseize. This is probably a Thoughtseize matchup. And the Ashiok. There. Oh, shoot, there's an Ugin. Wow. Okay. So they might stabilize at 1 here. That may have been my misplay. They get in for 9. I think they're going to be able to stabilize here, but they are at 1. So if we find a Dredge ability and can find a Creeping Chill, even a Creeping Chill off the top at this point would be lethal. It's really unfortunate we didn't find a Creeping Chill on the Satyr Wayfinder. Maybe I got too greedy digging. I was just trying to end the game that turn. And there's 26 cards left in our library and four Creeping Chills, so... So what our opponent, I think, has to do is play the Nissa Vital Force. And when they play the Nissa Vital Force, they need to tick up and keep a land up, I believe. Oh, actually, no, they can just win. So they play Nissa Vital Force, they make a land, and then, because we don't have anything in our graveyard, we can bring back 2 block. And that land gains haste. So they're actually going to win here if they see the Nissa play. If they don't see the Nissa play, then we're going to get to... Oh, wow, the Hour Promise? They should have just played the Nissa here. Is Hour Promise going to do anything? Because they need to have 3 deserts. Oh, they have a Radical Fountain. Okay. So they get put to 3. So then I make a Scrap Heap and I win. They missed lethal. And I missed that they had lethal. I wasn't expecting that Ugin, first of all. Okay, we got there. May have been a misplay on our opponent's part. They did have lethal there. So we're going to bring in these Thoughtseize for sure. I don't mind the Ashioks after seeing what they brought in. I think also these Assassin's Trophies would be good. Because if we were able to blow up that... Perilous Vault that one turn, I think that would have been very good. Now the question is, what do we take out? So I think Satyr Wayfinder, we agreed, is probably one of the worst dredgers, but needless to say, it is a dredger. I should have played probably... That one turn I Satyr Wayfinder looking for a Creeping Chill, what I should have done is played Despair when we got in for all that damage, because our opponent would have they would have discarded a lot of cards from their hand. Maybe all of them, and then we would have probably been able to pull away with the game. So let's see here. Maybe I don't want the Thoughtseize. I think I'm willing to trim another Haunted Dead and trim a Gurmag Angler. All right, let's see here. So here's what I want to bring in. I want to bring in an Ashiok and 3 Assassin's Trophies. Maybe it's cut 2 Gurmag Anglers, because Gurmag I don't think is good in this matchup, because we don't want to play that late of a game. So I think being able to bring in Ashioks and then cutting a Satyr Wayfinder and a Driven, I think that's probably the route to go. I don't think we want the Thoughtseize just because it's not for sure we're going to have it. And if we draw Assassin's Trophy later in the turns, I think it's good enough. So we're going to go ahead and play this out. Hopefully they don't have anything like Grafdigger's Cage in their sideboard. If they do, that is something we're also going to have to deal with. Ooh, this hand actually looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and keep this. We're going to lead on Blooming Marsh. Alright, there's an Elvish Mystic from our opponent. So they do have the ramp elements. That's why I was surprised last game when they just played a forest and didn't have like a Lanimore Elves or something. Alright, and right off the bat we hit a Scrap Heap Scrounger in our graveyard. So next turn I'm probably playing this other Stitcher Supplier. Alright, there's a Nissa's Pilgrimage. So they are going to hit their land drops every turn, but we just have to try and be faster than our opponent. Alright, so they play this forest. Alright, there's a Grizzly Salvage, so I'll probably just go ahead and play that. And I want to play that on our opponent's main phase here. Alright, Shrine of the Forsaken God. Oh wow, that's pretty deep. That's interesting. Alright, so our opponent might be flooding out here a little bit. Alright, here's where I want to play the Grizzly Salvage in case we hit a Prized Amalgam. Alright, I'm going to take this Botanical Sanctum. We did hit a Prized Amalgam, but we didn't hit anything to dredge back with it just yet. So we're going to go ahead and I think we're just going to... I think I want to swing in with the Stitcher Supplier, see what our opponent does. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just... I think I'm going to play Stitcher Supplier. Let me think this through. Alright, we don't have anything to dredge back with the... Yeah, so let's play Stitcher Supplier here. Alright, another Prized Amalgam here. But we didn't hit... Oh, that was rough. Alright, we need another creature in our graveyard to get these Prized Amalgams back. But again, because of our opponent, like they brought a bunch of stuff that exiled into the game. So I don't want to necessarily like force our Prized Amalgams out, even though it'd be good to be aggressive. If they play something like Ugin, we just got to watch out for something like that. Alright, there's a Vitu-Ghazi. And if they swing in here, I'm going to block with Stitcher Supplier, just so we can dredge some more. Oh, wow, and that actually doesn't have trample. So there's the cards we needed. So we have a Haunted Dead here. So what we can do is discard Prized Amalgam. And then we can exile Scrap Heap with Satyr. So this is actually a really good position for us. Alright, so I'm going to get in with Narcomoeba here. And next turn our board is going to explode. So we have Haunted Dead. We're going to bring back Haunted Dead, discarding Prized Amalgam and probably this Blooming Marsh. Alright, Alright, they found a Radiant Fountain. I really hope they just didn't find, or don't find something like Ugin. Ugin would be really bad here. Actually, Perilous Vault I think would be worse. Do they not have the, what is this, 7 lands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they only have 6 lands at the moment. I think they still have a land in hand. Alright, so they're going to make an elemental here. If they attack, I'm just blocking with Stitcher Supplier again. So they're actually just making my board state a million times better. I think we might be able to just win next turn. It depends on what we hit, but... There's another Haunted Dead. Maybe that's just better. Alright, I want to do all my stuff here now. Alright, let's do this correctly. Black, green, Haunted Dead. Discard Prized Amalgam, Blooming Marsh. And now I think I just bring back... I'm going to bring back a Scrap Heap here, because that forces them to have a very particular answer. And now my board state's just going to explode in power. Alright. Move to end step, all the prized amalgams come back. And we really need to find a Dredger. Or a way to get cards into our graveyard. And we can actually make our opponent discard their hand here, so that's pretty good. Oh, we didn't find it. But that's alright. So let's go ahead and make our opponent discard their hand. Give all our creatures menace. So they can't actually block here. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. So we're not completely there yet. So Despair proving to be a very powerful card. I'm really glad our opponent missed lethal that game 1, but I should have tightened up my play there. That was definitely on me. Alright, I'm going to attack with everything because they're going to be top decking. Alright, they ended up at 3. Hopefully we don't lose because of this. I just realized that we're at 14 and they have... So we can block their 9/9. So as long as they don't have anything else that's super powerful, I think we're okay. So if they just move the combat and attack here, I'm just gonna flash back this Haunted Dead in our graveyard. And by doing that, it's going to create a 1/1 white spirit. And then the white spirit will allow us to block the Vitu-Ghazi. So again, our opponent's probably putting, I guess, 2 or 3 counters on a forest and going to try and attack in. But they don't have enough. Alright, so let's bring back this Haunted Dead. And then the Haunted Dead will make a 1/1 white spirit that'll be able to block the Vitu-Ghazi. And that's the game. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you Mana Traders for sponsoring us. Thank you TCGPlayer for sponsoring us now. Check out the description below for a deck list over at TCGPlayer for a small percentage. Actually, I'm sorry. So if you click that link and go buy cards for this deck through that link on TCGPlayer, Crocodile MTG will get a small percentage of your purchase, and that helps support the channel as an affiliate of Crocodile MTG. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next match. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out the description below for more Magic the Gathering content. This was Jordan with Crocodile MTG, and we will see you next time.